Election news for you now. The Cape Independence Party will be on the ballot for the November local government elections. The party is behind the idea of Cape exit, a breakaway of the Western Cape from South Africa to form an independent state. But Jama Ah party leader, that's Ganief Hendricks, is having none of it. In fact, he joins us now for his insights on the story. The idea of a secession of the Cape, the Western Cape, from the rest of the country, Ganief. What is Jama Ah's take on that?
Look, first of all, it is unpatriotic, it is treason, and, we should lay charges, criminal charges against those who wants to have what they call a Cape exit. You don't do that in a democratic country, and the Constitution is not clear that it is possible to hold a referendum to break away from South Africa. And there are talks that KZN and the Western Cape have got that opportunity. So it's a sad day for us in Cape Town. Also, we see that, there are about 5 white mayors. And in one of the media houses today, they are interviewing 3 white mayors, candidate mayors. And this business of creating a white country outside South Africa and co-opting so-called coloureds and Indians and Africans, that is treasonous. And I can't understand why the NPA has not pounced on them, has not removed all those posters for a Cape exit. That is high treason.
It does smack of somewhat of a return to apartheid, doesn't it?
Yeah, they want to reinvent apartheid. And in the last 2 elections, the Cape Party, now they've changed their name, have been used by the Democratic Alliance. And the mayoral candidate for the Democratic Alliance, he doesn't have a quarrel with it, although his premier has a position, because his Western Cape government hasn't adopted such a resolution. So he would obviously say he can't support it. The city of Cape Town is already a city police state, and they also now want to control the army. So I will not have my freedom. I will be living in a police state run by whites, sharing power without losing control, and that is completely unacceptable. And it's also very sad, that they are creating a city of Cape Town that is in line with what the conglomerates want, like Amazon, taking land from that belongs to the Khoi, and we've heard a lot about that. And also taking away our shack, the church bells can't toll, the adhan of the mosque can't be heard, David's horn can't be blown, and the chants of the temples can't be heard, because there's a bylaw now that is all noise. So yes, the city of Cape Town, the Democratic Alliance, they are making a lot of noise, and they want to secede from South Africa. That's not what we fought for. It's unacceptable. And, we're busy with campaigning. I don't have time to go to a police station and lay charges, and then they don't even look at it. So I can't understand why the NPA has not taken off the boards. I don't know why the IEC has banned those boards. Tomorrow we're signing a pledge ceremony. And I will mention in my pledge speech that I'm really disappointed that the IEC is allowing this kind of campaigning. How can you campaign, to win a city, and then to have some leverage to approach the provincial government, to approach the national government for a referendum, and then for the city of Cape Town and the Western Cape to secede from South Africa and become a independent white homeland? And do they think that the African Union will give them membership?
Let me come in there. Ganief, the fact is, and you'll correct me on this issue, but the Constitution does in fact allow for such a referendum to take place, doesn't it?
No, the Constitution allows for referendums to take place. So maybe if a referendum on the death penalty, but the Constitution is not very clear on whether you can have a referendum to carve off, in this case, 2 provinces of the country I know that the Cyril Ramaphosa as chairman during Godesa and the DA and Honorable Buthelezi, they got together, white conglomerates got together, and that was a stumbling block that there should be space for such a referendum. And the drafters of the Constitution were very clever not to make it very clear. So there has to be an amendment to make it clearer. And Jama Ah will do a private member's bill and make it very clear that no such thing will ever happen. Which country will allow in its constitution that parts of it can be carved off? I mean, that is unthinkable.
So is Jama Ah now wanting to apply for an amendment? Because as you say, the Constitution is not entirely clear on the issue, but you're trying to close off all loopholes on the issue?
That's correct. So our attorneys are preparing a private member's bill. You know, now small parties are allowed after a constitutional court judgment to submit amendments to legislation, and it doesn't have to be cleared by the cabinet. It goes directly to the speaker. We've done 2 bits, the Marriage Act and the Maintenance Act, and this is our 3rd one that we're working on. And we are going to make sure that we close all the loopholes. And we will also say that, make a provision that if someone calls for secession, it is treason, and make that also very clear.
Very interesting is this poll that was conducted back in July. It was on behalf of the Cape Independence Party. So, I'm not sure whether only a particular sort of section of the community was surveyed, but 58% of the people surveyed. I don't have the numbers either of how many people were surveyed. Anyway, 58% of people surveyed supporting the idea of a referendum on Cape independence.
Look, you must understand that I accept the findings of that poll, but I think many people voted yes because they wanted to send a clear message and reject an independence. So the DA and the Cape Party, they are under the illusion that those people support breaking away.
Right.
So it is purely, the poll will show that only 1 or 2% will support it, and that is a support that the Cape Party got in the last 2 elections, not even 0.5% support, in spite of having up 1 million posters.
Yeah. So let's talk about, very quickly as we round off our interview, Ganief, let's talk about the upcoming polls. It's 31 days exactly until we head to the polls. Have you had enough time to prep as a party?
Yes, no, we've planned, because we want to take over the city of Cape Town. We want to stop this white racism. And we're working very hard, and we're very happy that the ANC is in a strong position now that they can submit a PR candidate list to take more seats. And then we'll be the kingmakers with our 15 seats that we intend to win in the city of Cape Town.
Do you really think that the ANC has a good chance in the city of Cape Town, given its track record?
Its track record is rotten, but I've looked at some of their candidates. It's candidates that never wanted to take part in politics, continued their activism, their NGO roles, and I see many of them emerging, and people know them, and they will be successful. And while people are unhappy with the ANC, they're not going to vote for the ANC, but they're going to vote for those candidates. So we feel our number crunching is that, the ANC is going to catch everyone napping. And we don't mind, because then the gap between the DA and the ANC is narrower, and we can slip through and be the kingmakers, and I can wear the mayoral chain.
Hopeful words there from Ganief Hendricks. He is the Jama Ah party leader. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning on the AM Report.